Brought up at tonight's debate. However, my next guest says the media has lost track of one major issue facing the United States. It's illegal immigration, the problem of illegal immigration. My next guests are three mothers whose sons were killed by illegal immigrants. They're in Vegas today to make sure this issue is not overlooked tonight. This immigration problem is not forgotten at tonight's debate. With me now, Laura Wilkerson, her 18-year-old son Josh Wilkerson was murdered in 2010. We've got Agnes Gibboney, her son Ronald Da Silva, murdered in 2002. Julie Golvach, mother of Spencer Golvach, killed in 2015. They are all members of the organization, the Remembrance Project. You have endured a nightmare of suffering no parent should ever have to endure. Our hearts go out to you.
The pain is just so much. It's incredible what we've been through, and we just don't want it to happen to other parents. Donald Trump has given us a voice, and the Remembrance Project wants to make sure there's something in place to take care of our families when we need it. It's time to put Americans first. It's not a sympathy thing. It's what's right to do, and that's what we want to do.
You know, Julie, the problem of illegal immigration, Julie, it seems like it's getting lost in the debate issues and the discussion of what's going on in the media. And it looks like, Julie, that illegal immigration surged about nearly a quarter, by 23% over the last year. What is your fear about this getting lost in the fray?
That other mothers are going to be in the same, and fathers are going to be in the same situation that we're in. Our sons were all murdered. It could have been prevented years ago. This open borders policy and Hillary Clinton wanting to have no borders at all is putting everyone's lives at risk.
You know, Agnes, it looks like deportations a few years ago were spiking at 410,000 a year, but they are now hitting a 10-year low, deportations of illegal immigrants. We don't have the final 2016 numbers. They have not been released yet. But it looks like we may be headed for a fourth straight year, Agnes, of declining removals of illegal immigrants. What are your thoughts about that?
It enrages me. It should enrage every American citizen, because our children would still be here today, our loved ones would still be here today if our borders would have been secured, if our government would have taken care of Americans first.
You know, Laura, there's also concern. I mean, what the three of you and your families have endured is just a horrific nightmare. Again, our hearts go out to you. Laura, there's also a concern about the potential for illegal immigrants voting. What are your thoughts on that?
It's absurd. They do not get a seat at the table. They're not an American citizen. That's exactly why Hillary and Obama's administration want them here, is for a vote. They invite them here and give them welfare and help them navigate our system. They're not a part of our system. There's a plan in place, and they need to come in the front door and become an American citizen. Then they can vote. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Julie and Agnes, you'll be at tonight's debate. And Laura, you attended the last debate. First to you, Julie, what do you want to hear at tonight's debate? Julie?
Well, all three of us will be at the debate tonight.
Oh, okay.
And I want to hear Mr. Trump reaffirm his message to build a wall, secure a border in any way possible, and to get out the criminal illegal aliens. The illegal alien that murdered my son had been deported 4 times. He was a known gang member, assault, robbery, had spent 5 years in federal prison, and still he was walking the streets of Houston and went on a shooting spree when he murdered my son.
Thank you for telling us that. Agnes, what happened to your son?
My son was standing talking to a friend when this gang came from behind that intended to shoot his friend in the back and hit my son in the arm. And I also want to make a comment that my family legally immigrated to the United States. We followed the laws, we followed all the rules to respect this country, and everybody should be that. We should extremely vet everybody coming into this country.
Laura, what happened to your son?
Joshua went to school one day, and unbeknownst to me, a classmate asked him for a ride home. We found out at the trial that his intent was to murder Josh for his truck. He brutally beat him, crushed his face and voice box. He beat him in the head with a closet rod 4 times until it broke. He strangled him over and over again, tortured him. He tied him up like an animal, dropped him in a field, and set him on fire.
Words can't express the sorrow that we have for you and your loss, ladies. Thank you, Laura, Julie, and Agnes. Thank you so much for sharing your stories
Thank you very
with us.
much, Liz.
Thank you.
We really appreciate your time with us. Thank you. Now, both candidates announcing their invited guests.